morning, everyone. Thank you guys for coming over. Everybody enjoying the conference so far? All right. So I'm Jake Shapiro. I'm with Vasco Data Security. We're a public company, been in business for 20 years, do business around the world. We've done a lot of work with financial institutions, so we're in 7 out of top 10 banks and 100 out of 200 top 10 banks in the world. VDSI is our ticker symbol. If you want to look us up, get more information, feel free to do so. Now, Vasco is really in the business of doing two things and two things only. We do authentication of user logon sessions, and we also authenticate intent in case of financial transactions. You're trying to transfer some money from one account to another. Let's say there's a man-in-the-middle type of a threat. We deal with that threat very effectively here by authenticating your intent. So let's talk about a couple of problems, right? So there are 3 problems that we can help customers address. The first one is we're all getting hacked. I'm sure a bunch of you have accounts or pet accounts with some of these folks, and it's a very rapidly growing list, unfortunately. I don't mean to pick on these guys, but I got this from informationisbeautiful.net. If you go there and source the data from credible sources, you can interact with those bubbles and get more detail on what that threat was all about. They do a very good job of visually presenting the information to you. So, second problem is attacks are very easy. If you look at the types of attacks that have been perpetrated, good 3/4 of them are in the easy to very easy type of category. So unless you do something about those, I mean, right, and the solution to those things is also something fairly easy. So by implementing a couple of security solutions, you can prevent 3/4 of those attacks right off the bat. Now, culprit in that particular case has been always password. If password is the only thing you're relying upon, I don't care if you encrypt it, I don't care if you salt it. The tools that hackers have at their disposal, the computing power that they have at their disposal, and the motivation that they have, basically what it boils down to is if hackers points his eyesight on your business, you will get hacked. You may not find out about it right away, but you will eventually get hacked. So, what's the third problem? Passwords are painful, and I'm not specifically picking on Yahoo, it's just anybody, right? So you're on a mobile device. I'm not a very big guy, I'm only 5'9", and I can't say my hands are bigger than average. But when I try to type a password, I don't get it right the first time or second time. 9 times out of 10, like I have to keep on typing it over and over again before I get it. In case of Yahoo, and I encourage you all to do this, right? You can use Yahoo, Google, Facebook, Twitter. Do enroll in their 2-factor or 2-step authentication service. It's always good. It gives you an extra measure of security. At least once or twice a month, somebody tries to hack into my Google account, but because I have enabled, I have a fairly, let's put it this way, known presence out there. So I'm probably, slightly higher level of target, but still, once or twice a month I get notification that somebody's trying to hack in because I get SMS from Google telling me, oh yeah, here's your new one-time password. Well, I'm not trying to log in anywhere, so immediately I go and change my password. So it's a good thing to do, and it's free for users. But anyway, so with Yahoo, I've enrolled in a 2-step authentication, and they do SMS-based or text-based. It's an older system, but it's better than nothing. So you get an email, you cut and paste that OTP, you switch back to the application, paste it, and okay, finally I'm in. Right? It takes a little bit of time. So what can be done to help people solve 3 problems, right? The problems again is you're being attacked, right? It's very easy for hackers to do so, and 3, it's just painful to deal with passwords. So we've been in this business for about 20 years, right? So security is something that we know fairly well. So that's not the challenge for us. For us, the challenge is how to make it very easy for people to adopt. Right? One thing we constantly hear from users is like, well, 2-factor authentication is too much of a pain. Well, the reason it's so much of a pain is because we've been using fairly old tools to do this. We ask people to either carry hardware keys, or we SMS things and then flip back and forth. It doesn't work. So what does work? So let me give you an idea of what we've done recently to combat all of those problems. Let me unlock my phone here. I use this reflector app. It's great. It projects my mobile device to a computer so you can all see. So I'm going to focus on the mobile use case only, right? We also interact with desktop, and we do it very easily too. Feel free to drop by our booth 529. We'll give you a more in-depth demo. So on mobile device, let's take that use case again. I want to simply authenticate into an application or a mobile website, right? So here I have an example of a mobile application. It's a simple news app, right? Doesn't matter what your app does. And also when it comes to authentication, you may require users to authenticate every time they get in, if that's the type of app or website it is. Or you say, you know what, you only need to authenticate when you're performing a risky transaction. So they, right, we had a conversation a little earlier, it's like, look, if you're a financial portfolio manager, just to see your portfolio positions, that's fine, I don't need to authenticate you, but if you're placing a 100,000 share order for some stock ticker, well, at that point, yes, I want to make sure that you are who you claim to be. So it's up to the app developer to figure out when to authenticate, things of that nature. In the case of social media, you never want to authenticate people unless something weird's going on, like we've been hit by a heartbleed or whatever. So anyway, so instead of username and password, what you see here is login with mydigipass.com. So mydigipass.com is our authentication platform that is targeted at consumer. So if you've got a site, you've got an app, you've got a large number of users, you don't give them an ID, you've got a very separate database out there. You don't want to manage them too much, right? You want something easy as well to implement. That's what it's geared for. So I click this mydigipass.com secure login button. My authenticator pops up. Authenticator, if you don't have it, your iPhone, your Android phone, your tablet will download it from the App Store, Play Store. It has to be enrolled. The term we use is notarized. So it's notarized to me, it's notarized to my device. Alright, so there's every single authenticator that we ship and put on people's devices will have a unique serial ID. Once I enter the PIN, this is one of the factors, right? The PIN will do, it will unlock my authenticator. Okay? So I'm going to enter my PIN, now everybody knows my PIN. It will generate that one-time password. It will take that one-time password, send it along with the serial number of my device, session ID of the application I'm trying to authenticate into, send that information to our cloud service that actually authenticates me. Cloud service then lets the application backend or the website backend know Jake is authenticated, let him in. So I've been doing a lot of talking here, right? Now let's do this again and I'll keep my mouth shut, okay? Just to give you an idea of how easy it really is. And you tell me if it's easier than passwords. And I'm in. Alright? So feel free to stop our booth, and thank you very much for your time. And let's engage in deeper conversation. Thanks for coming, guys.